Nick, mate, I'm pissed off! I gotta vent about something. Passwords. And this is just a venting video, so don't take anything to heart. It was driving me crazy. I ended up getting locked out like 3 times because I don't remember any of these stupid passwords. I don't want a stupid PIN either. So I turned that off, and then it's like making me sign into a Hotmail. And I'm like, I don't even know the stupid password to this. Multiple times I was having to recover and change my password over and over to log in again. And then I've been trying to figure out how to disable this in the first place so I can just turn the computer on and just get into the computer, because I've never, ever needed a password just to get onto my computer. Ever. Throughout my whole entire life. I've never wanted a stupid password. Like, especially now, I don't even live with anyone. Like, who's gonna just walk into my room and go onto my computer and start taking random things off the computer and screwing around on it? As I was trying to remove the PIN, and then I ended up accidentally locking it again, and then it's like, oh, now I need to figure out what the stupid password is again. Like, this is another thing. Just vent. I need to vent in general. I need to vent being forced to have overly long and complicated passwords. I get it, in the world of the internet nowadays, hackers everywhere, and everyone's guessing each other's passwords and stealing accounts, and it's a good idea to have a long and complicated password. But the whole reason why I'm just annoyed in general is because there are so many passwords. Everywhere you go, every website, every video game, everywhere you go, you have to have a password. And to make it worse, it forces you to have the most complicated random password ever. I miss the good old days when you could literally just have one letter as a password. But you could make your password whatever you want. Now it's like, half the time you don't even know what to put as a password because it's never good enough. It'll always, no matter what you put as a password, it always says password not strong enough. So I type in more, password not strong enough. I type in more random things, password not strong enough. What do you want from me? And I get the whole, it's for better security so people can't guess your password. But is it really any better being forced to have extremely long and complicated passwords that I'm gonna end up forgetting 5 seconds after I type it? Having to remember all of these dozens and dozens of complicated passwords, I'm gonna have to write them all down on a piece of paper somewhere, because there's no way I'm gonna remember even one of these. And then what if someone comes into my room and discovers, oh, hey, what's this notepad? Oh, I have all these passwords now. It seems kind of ironic and counterproductive at the end of the day, because it always forces you to have such a long and complicated password. Like, you can't just have a simple word, or you can't just have like a few numbers or anything anymore. No, like, you have to have numbers, letters, uppercase letters, special characters, Chinese letters, and the blood of a virgin in order to make a password. I don't know how some people do it. Some people that live in like a college dorm, or they have a family, like a big family, they live with a bunch of people, and it's like, how am I supposed to remember all these passwords? So they have to write it down somewhere. And then like one of their siblings or someone's gonna go into the room and find it, and then it's just gonna defeat the whole purpose of having a super long, complicated password in the first place. I'm making an account on something. You should be allowed to pick whatever password that you feel like having. If you wanna have a super short, easy to guess password, then that should be your choice, right? Why is it any of their business on what your password is? It should be like the good old days where you can have any password you want. Because in this day and age of being required to have abnormally complicated passwords, everyone is always forgetting their password, including myself, because especially to make it 100 times worse, every single place you go to requires a different account, which means a different password. The very least that they could do is have a universal solution, like have one main account and link everything to that one thing, like a Google account or a Microsoft account or an Apple account, something like that. They do kind of have something like that, but it's not universal. There should be a new thing in place where it's required where you can choose a common account like that and just link all of your passwords to that so you can just log in with one main password. So then it wouldn't be so bad having a super complicated password, because at least it would just be the same thing every time. I just felt like venting real quick about passwords and everything, because Windows 11 has been pretty decent so far. Like, it's not really much different than Windows 10. I got Windows 11 set up and everything, and it forced me to log into a Hotmail account or whatever, and then I couldn't figure out anywhere how to turn that off. Like, it had a pin, and then I turned that off, and then it's making me log in with my Hotmail account that's, once again, a super complicated password that I had to find somewhere. But it's like I couldn't log into my stupid computer because I didn't know what the password was, and I had the password saved on my computer somewhere. So it's like, oh cool, so I'm basically locked out of my I'm locked out of my computer. I kept having to reset my password over and over again. I kept forgetting it because it was, once again, as I've been saying throughout this whole entire video, I kept having to put a super complicated password again, and I didn't bother to write it down on a piece of paper. So every time I reset it, because I was just getting annoyed, so I'm like, time to reset my password again. Oh, password is too weak. Password is too weak. So I was just getting annoyed, so I just started mashing on the keyboard again just so I can get into the computer. And then I accidentally locked it again, so I had to reset my password again. Just driving me crazy. So now I finally figured out how to remove that entirely, so I can just turn the computer on and it goes straight to the desktop without having to type in any stupid password. I'm done venting. Stay tuned for more stupid videos. See you, farts.